Hey guys, so today we're gonna be doing a story time of how we met.
Instead of having both of us go at the same time, what we're gonna do is kind of like a whisper challenge where one person is gonna be listening to music while the other person tells a story.
Each of our like perspectives,
Exactly.
like our version, I guess. So, for example, like while I'm telling my story, he'll be like listening to his music, like you can't hear anything. And same thing goes for me. This is gonna be kind of divided into like 3 sections.
Yeah.
Basically how we found out about each other, how we first met, and then how we started dating. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I first found out about Nico because he was best friends with this person that I met in high school in grade 9, and she's like one of my best friends now. And she like mentioned his name once in a while in conversations, just like little like stories, little anecdotes about like what they did in elementary school. That's kind of how I found out about him, or like how I became familiar with him. Fast forward to grade 10, Nico followed me for the first time on Instagram. I didn't know it was the same Nico. Back then, I didn't really follow people that I didn't know. When I got a follow request from him, I asked my friend, like, hey, like, is it cool? Whatever. And she's like, yeah, like he's a nice guy, like don't worry about it, like it's okay to follow him. I took her word for it. We didn't interact at all. Like I've never talked to him, and then one day, a couple months in, he DM'd me. He was like, hey, just wanted to know, like, I think you're cute, and then he had like a little smiley face. And back then, like, I was like so like unfamiliar with the whole like idea of sliding into like people's DMs. When he complimented me, I was just like, oh well, thank you, and that's all I said. I didn't think like much of it. Like I thought he was cute. After that, he never said anything again. He never like replied to my message or anything. And then I remember like the next day at school, like I was gonna tell like my friend, your friend Nico like DM'd me, but then I think he deleted the message. It wasn't until like we started dating like why I found out like why he deleted it. And so that was kind of like the whole gist of like how I first found out about him. After that, like I guess like I started paying attention to him more. See him like on my timeline, like I think he's cute. Like my first thought was that like he looked like Helen Hood. Yeah, like I've always thought he was cute, but then he got a girlfriend. Obviously I'm not gonna try anything. And so yeah.
So now it's my turn to talk about how I found out about Lou. I think the first time I ever heard about Lou was I think when I was around grade 9. Like a friend, I'm not gonna mention any names, but he had like a massive crush on her. So yeah, I was kind of just like, you know, trying to help him out because he was, you know, always asking me like, is there any way you can get me her number? Like I did try because yeah, one of my best friends, not gonna mention any names again, was one of her closest friends because they went to the same school. Well, at first I tried asking her, is it possible for you to send Lou's number because my friend really likes her, but she wouldn't allow it, which I don't understand because it's like how would she find out her number and stuff, right? Didn't end up happening, but I still kept trying to help my friend. It was kind of just like no hope for him because I guess like she just wasn't interested, but I kept trying and trying, but nothing happened. I think what happened was in grade 10, like I promised my boy like I would never try to talk to him because it's like I wouldn't snake him like that because he's my boy, right? But I don't know, in grade 10 I kind of just messaged her on Instagram. Like it was really random. I think it was like at like 10 at night or something. I was like sent her a message saying like, oh, like I think you're really cute and shit like that. Like I thought that was like super risky, like just saying that because I didn't know what she was gonna say, or I didn't even know if she was interested because it was completely random. But she ended up getting back to me saying like, LOL, thanks. And I was kind of just like, what the fuck? I was expecting her to at least compliment me back, but that didn't happen. And so at that point, I was just like, there's no point of even trying. Like, she doesn't like my friend. It kind of sucks because like I kind of did go against my boy's back, but at the same time, like nothing happened. So yeah, that's kind of like how I found out about her. I did stalk her on Instagram a lot, like I did. I remember like looking at her pictures, and yeah, she just looked really, really pretty and stuff. And I just like, yeah, I wanted to compliment her about that. And after, like, I ended up dating someone else after. It was good, but man, yeah, I don't know. Who knows what would have happened if, like, you know, she said something else. I mean, I'm not really friends with my boy anymore. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So how we officially met, it was really like random and like huge like coincidence. So before the summer of grade 12, I decided to take summer school. Initially, like, I was supposed to go on vacation, see my family in the US, but I decided to take summer school instead. I was going to do online school, but I don't want to stay inside like all summer, like it's gonna drive me crazy. Like, might as well just go to like a real school. I was gonna go to Marshall first. My friends were like, hey, like, we're going to Brebeuf for summer school, like, you should just join us. Like, I knew Brebeuf was like way like farther in Marshall, but I was like, hey, like, all my friends are going to Brebeuf, might as well like take summer school with them. So the first time I heard Nico's name was one of my friends in my class. Oh, she was eating these gummy worms. I was like, hey, like, where did you get that? And she's like, oh, like, Nico makes them. And then so that was the first time I found out, like, we were both taking summer school together. And then I was like, oh, okay. I knew who he was. Like, I did think he was cute, but he was dating somebody. Plus, like, I didn't even know him. Like, I've never met him, so honestly, like, I just like knew of him at that time. I officially like saw him in person was me and I think that same friend. We wanted to go find our other friend who was taking the same class as Nico. So I remember we went upstairs into the classroom and we didn't see like our friend in there, but then Nico came to the door and him and like my friend already knew each other, and so I was kind of just like awkwardly standing there like waiting by the door. So that was like the first time I've ever seen Nico in person. But what happened was, since him and like my friend at that time like were in the same class, they kind of became friends with each other. They kind of started hanging out, and then at one point like he just like started eating lunch with us. Like, I didn't really talk to him that much because I'm just like really shy with people I don't know. The first time like he ever spoke to me was after school. We were waiting at the bus stop to go to Finch. And I was like alone, like listening to my music, and then he like comes up to me and he's like,
do you know my friend blah blah?
That's the same guy that like had like a huge crush on me. I didn't like him like that. So when he mentioned the name, I was like, yeah, I know that person. And then he was like, yeah, like he's one of my best friends, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, like this is really awkward, right? It wasn't until like towards like the end of summer school when we like officially started to like hang out. One day, I think after exam, him and like two of my other friends, and including me, like we just like hung out this like one day, and then like we kind of formed like our own like squad. It was like really fun at that time. We still like didn't know him as much. He was kind of just brought into like the group. That's how we became a bit closer. Like nothing dramatic happened. I guess like the only reason why he like started hanging out with us because him and his like girlfriend at that time like broke up like during summer school. Yeah, he kind of just like hung out with us and became friends with us. And yeah.
So my turn on how I first met Lou. Well, the first time that I actually seen her in person was I was still really good friends with my buddy that really liked her, and he would wait for her at like Downsview Station. It's called Shepherd West now. But I was just like, bro, like you have a problem. Like this girl doesn't even, like, she knows you, but like why do you wait for her? Like she doesn't even acknowledge you and shit like that, right? It was just really weird. But like, yeah, I think I've seen her like a few times and I was like, yeah, like she's actually really pretty in person. But the first time I actually met her was I think in summer school. I know it was in summer school, and that was I was in grade 11 and I took bio. How I found out that she was here was I think one of my friends mentioned that she was here. I don't remember who it was. It was like there in summer school and I was like, oh my god, like I've never actually talked to her in person, but just the idea that she was there, I guess, kind of scared me because I was like, wow, like this is the girl that I used the idea never replied back to me. It's kind of, you know, it's pretty embarrassing. I think it was like a break or something, and one of my friends I think came in the class asking where my other friend was, and I saw her there standing at the door, and I was like, oh my god, like is that Lou? But like she obviously didn't hear me, right? And then my friend was like, yeah, that's her. And so I was like, wow, like I've never actually seen her in person, like she's actually really pretty. And so
and I was kind of just like really shocked.
I didn't ever think that I'd actually be like meet her in person and actually like introduce myself, which I didn't until I think we were going home, saw her at the bus stop, and like the first thing I asked her was like, oh, do you know my friend? And my friend was the guy who had a big crush on her, right? let's just say his name was Bob. I was just like, oh, do you know Bob? And he's just like, yeah, and like, it was nothing crazy. It was kind of just like small talk. I thought it was just like interesting moment or interesting time. And so ever since then, like, I started hanging out with her group of friends. Two of her friends were in my class, and so they all hang out in the same friend group. So I started hanging out with them, and I always see her there at lunchtime, and like sometimes I just like, you know, like try to low-key look at her, like she's actually really pretty. But I didn't do anything. I didn't make no moves, no nothing. That was pretty much like my first interaction with her. It was pretty big for me. All right, let's just move. So where are we going again, Lou?
We are going to the place where we first started dating.
Okay. Yeah. The iconic park.
The final episode to our story, how we officially first started dating. So basically what happened was, the friend that like he met in summer school, that was like my friend, she was going away on vacation. Kind of just like assumed that him and I were gonna like drift apart, or like we're not gonna talk as much anymore because like he was like way closer to her.
I'm like bugging about it, like, hey, like, I just like meeting your friend, and you know, it sucks that
I'm not as close to him, but turns out we started hanging out more because like we wanted to surprise our friend after she came back. We had plans to make like a really like huge card for her and make a mango float for her. So because of like those plans, that's the reason why I guess like we started hanging out. In the process of hanging out, I kind of like developed feelings for him, I guess. I already thought he was cute, but it was like, I wouldn't like you. But just, like hanging out, I realized like, hey, like this guy's actually like really nice. He's so easy to talk to, and but then like I told myself, you know, like I'm not gonna tell him anything because he just like recently broke up with his girlfriend and didn't know him like that well. And I just assumed that like he didn't like me back that way. Like I didn't want to embarrass myself. Plus like school's gonna start in like a month, and I'm like really no point of like me telling him because like we're gonna drift apart anyway. But what happened was, after we went to taste of vanilla together, like just as friends, we were like texting at night, and at one point I kind of said goodnight. It was like one of those good nights where like I didn't go to sleep. I was kind of just like on my phone watching. It was 2 a.m. and then I got a text. The text was from him. I'm thinking the text like at the top of my head, but he basically confessed his feelings to me, and then at that point I was like just so shook. And then it took me like, this was like at 2 a.m. and then I didn't reply until like an hour later. Basically what I said was like, hey, like I like you too, but I don't want to be a rebound because like I know you just broke up with your girlfriend. I don't want to be like used that way. Like I don't want to be like a distraction because like you probably like still like her. And it wasn't until like in the morning he texted back. He's like, hey, like I promise like you're not a rebound, blah blah blah. But yeah, like I just really like you, and I just like really had to like let that out of my chest. So after that, it was an awkward period where there was like an elephant in the room. So for like the next few days, like when we hung out, like we didn't talk about it at all. We kind of just like went on about with our days together, like as friends. And it wasn't until after CNU, when I dropped him off to the station, he kind of made his like first move when he gave me like a huge hug and then like kissed the top of my head. At that point I was like really like, I wasn't confused about my feelings for him, but since like we didn't talk about it, I was like really confused whether he actually liked me. I didn't know if like he meant what he said because nothing was happening, and so I kind of just assumed like, yeah, like it's gonna go away, like he's gonna get over it. One day I wasn't supposed to be hanging out with him, but like I kind of like begged my mom, like, yeah, can I please like hang out with my friend? And we both chilled. We both went to like Menchie's, like here at St. Clair West, and then we kind of chilled like in this park, like the jungle gym, like right over there. And then we ended up moving to this one because there were just like a lot of bugs there. So I was laying on my back, I was like on my phone, and all of a sudden
Comes on top of me, and then
we were both like awkwardly laughing, and then he like starts kissing me, and then I remember like freaking out because that was like my first kiss. Yeah, I was just so shook, and then kind of like silent for a while. I was confused. I was like, are we dating or not? And I don't remember what happened, but basically he was like,
you were down, I'm down.
so that was like the way he asked me out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm down. And so after that, like we just started dating, and here we are now.
So one of our friends went back to the Philippines. So the only people left was her, me, and our other friend. Let's call our other friend, I don't know, Stacy. Yeah, so Stacy, Lou, and I. And I think while our friend was in the Philippines, Lou and I kind of just like started hanging out a little bit more often. Just because like our other friend Stacy, like you know, like she couldn't come as often as she wanted. I'm just going downtown, taking pictures and stuff like that. Just you know, like just what regular friends do, right? And so I think one of us had the idea of, I think, creating like a welcome back card, and we also decided to make her like a Filipino like dessert mango float. If you guys know it, it's probably the greatest thing ever. Decided to, you know, like create a like pop card, and so like we decided that all of us would work on it. But Stacy couldn't make it, so Lou and I spent time just making a card together. And so I guess that's when I kind of just like started noticing how like cool of a person she was. Very easy to like get along with. Like she didn't talk much, but she was just so open and very accepting of me. So I really liked that in her. I would always like text her at night and like always ask her to tell me like scary stories, which I really liked. And during this time too, keep in mind that I just got out of a relationship just because like it was really toxic. I tried to get out of it as many times, but I guess I just kept on like coming back just because of like pity, which was really bad. So if any of you guys out there are experiencing the same thing, I just fucking walk away. Knowing the kind of person that I am, it's just like I don't really like being alone. Like I'm not saying that like I have to constantly be with someone like 24/7, but I just like having, you know, people to talk to that. And like I did have my friends and stuff, but it's different, you know, when you have someone there with you. It's like, you know, over time, like chilling with each other, I really just felt really comfortable with them. But I guess the turning point, or where I think everything just kind of turned around, when I told her that I liked her. Like I texted her at like 2 in the morning. We just finished like, you know, texting and stuff, and she said she was going to sleep. You know, I might as well just tell her how I feel. Like summer's almost ending. I literally have nothing to lose, right? So I messaged her like at 2 in the morning, like thinking that she wouldn't like, you know, open it. I told her, I was like, I literally just have to get something off my chest. I really like you. I know that like I just got out of a relationship, but I've only talked to you for like 2 weeks, but there's just something about you that I really like. Like I don't know, I don't think I've ever felt the same way about anyone else. Like I'm not just saying that because I am with her. It was just really different. Like I could just be myself around her. There's a lot of things that I could talk to her about that I couldn't with other people, even my closest friends. Like overall, she was just like a really cool person. And so when I told her that, I didn't expect to get back. I just like threw my phone under my bed. I didn't want to open it till the next day because I was just like, my heart was pumping. The next morning came, and so she texted me the night of, like when I texted her, because like she was still awake, I guess. She's like, yeah, you just got out of a relationship, so I want you to be 100% sure that you know what you're saying, because, you know, I just don't want to be your rebound. I reassured her, I was like, dude, I wouldn't do anything like this. Like, I'm not that kind of guy to just say that I like you just for the sake of saying it, or just kind of getting something out of it. Like, I genuinely liked her, like, despite me getting out of a relationship, like, 2 weeks ago. Right? Yeah, I just told her, I was like, dude, like, trust me, like, you know, I wouldn't use you like that. I had no intentions of messing around. Like, I genuinely just liked it. I guess from that point on, she's willing to try it as long as we take it slow. But I didn't know what that meant. So I just kind of assumed like we're kind of neutral. Like, yeah, we both like each other, I guess. Because she did say like she did kind of like me. But I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh yeah, we're probably just like still friends. I think the next day we just met up. I didn't act strange. I just acted like it was like a normal thing. Like nothing happened. And I think that kind of threw her off. Now she was telling me how she was kind of like, I guess, confused too. Like why it seemed like I wasn't interested when I was with her, but when we were texting on the phone and something, I really liked her. But I did. It's just that I'm just really good at like hiding it. We got invited to a CNE event where we had to watch our friends sing. Lou and I guess we went home together. At this point, it was about, let's say like 10 o'clock-ish. We were coming home from CNE and we took the bus together, and it was just us two. I remember her sitting right beside me, and I was like, shit, like am I supposed to do something? Because like I've never been in this position before. This is the first time I've ever told a girl that I like her, like that I actually hang out with. Like this is so weird for me. Usually in my past relationships, it was kind of just like, oh yeah, we date and text, but I've never actually asked a girl in person. Sitting in my seat, I was, bro, like am I supposed to say something? Get off the station, and I'm like, fuck, what should I do? When I was about to leave to go take the subway, I gave her a hug, and then something in me just like kissed her on the forehead, and I was like, what? I was just like, yo, I love you. And she's like, oh, I love you too. She laughed, and then she left, and I was kind of just like,
now what the hell is that?
fast forward to August 27, which is the day I actually asked her out. We didn't even plan to meet, right? Because I had to meet up to sell shoes. She was getting a haircut. We ended up chilling, so we came to St. Clair West here at this park. Well, we actually started off at the park before, but we ended up moving here just because I think there was like a lot of bugs down there. But I didn't plan to ask her out. I didn't know if she really liked me, and at the same time I didn't want to get rejected. I just brought her here and we were kind of just chilling. I was taking pictures, and then all of a sudden I just like attacked her, like right up there. I'm like laying on top of her at this point, right? And then I was just like, damn, like you were so fucking pretty. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, dude. Like I don't even know how to describe it. But like, are we a thing or something like that? Like, I really like you. And then she was like, yeah, like I really like you too. Like, keep in mind, I'm still on top of her.
I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
So then I asked, like, are we together? Like, she's like, I don't know, it's up to you. And I was like, oh, I'm down if you're down. Which is like so iconic in our relationship now. It's not a very conventional way of asking someone. Yeah, I just remembered that I tried making out with her, and it was so funny because like I'm her first. Like she did have boyfriends before, but like that was in elementary school. This was like her first actual relationship, and it still blows my mind to this day. I'm like, how can a girl this pretty? How can I be her first, right? Like, that's wow. I tried making out with her, and it was just like making out with a fucking rock or something. It was really cute. I'm pretty sure that she felt really nervous about it too, because like she just kept doing like her nervous laugh, where she was kind of just like, yeah, like that was the start of the relationship. But you know, I'm really proud of her though. Like for her first relationship, it's way past 2 years now. It's like almost 3 years. Like it's like 2 years and like 3 days. I'm pretty sure no one would have expected us to last this long. I'm glad that she was still able to accept me despite everything that I guess happened to my previous relationship, because I know it was pretty hard. Just the fact that that relationship lasted like 1.5 years, and for me to move on that quickly, I guess kind of scared her, which is understandable. But I mean, she still gave it a shot, and yeah, who knows, man? If she said no, I don't know where I'd be right now. Yeah, I'd probably be back with my ex, which, oh my god, which is so crazy to think about. I'm so happy that I'm with her now. So that's
Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just really happy to be with her.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely changed
A lot. We kind of just like went into this relationship like not knowing what was gonna happen. Didn't really expect it to like
last this long.
last this long.
But yeah, you know, we made it. We did go through a lot of like rough times and stuff, but we managed to get over it. 2 years and like almost 3, man. Right there. Like we literally just hit 2 years.
We're just excited for what's to come. But yeah, shout out to everybody that
I know that made it happen for real though.
but they don't realize made it happen.
Yeah, if just like one thing didn't like happen during that whole sequence of us like getting together, I don't think we'd be together.
We talk about this all the time. If I ended up going to the US, I wouldn't have met this guy.
Yeah, and if my ex-girlfriend didn't tell me to take bio, which I didn't need, I probably wouldn't have met her too. It's crazy, like we can look back at like every single thing that led up to like us like, you know, being together, and it's like wow, if I wasn't friends with that guy that was obsessed with her, we wouldn't be together. If
like I didn't do my confirmation classes in that specific church, I wouldn't have met the guy in the first place.
Yeah, we just thank everyone. You know, yeah, we hope you guys know a little bit more about us. Exactly. Alright.
Thank you for watching.
See you guys in the next video. Bye.
Hey.